This is Turd Flinging Monkey for TFM News. I'm going to be responding to an article from the New York Post called Mom Loses 140 Pounds, Then Ditches Husband and Finds Hot Young Lover by Melissa Caceres. Now, this article hit especially home for me. I might get a little emotional during this newscast. Because, in case you didn't know, and I did a couple interviews about this, I had a very similar experience. This is kind of what started me on my MGTOW path. So a little background about me, and you'll see how this fits into this article. So a while ago, I had a girlfriend, and she was fat. And that was okay with me because I was cheated on a lot. So I was willing to kind of date down. And over time, I helped her get her confidence back, and she started losing weight because she had a lot of emotional problems I helped her out with. And as she started to lose weight, she started flirting with other guys. And eventually she cheated on me, pretty much like all the other girlfriends I ever had before cheated on me. And so we broke up, and she got fat again, and she stalked me for a little bit. But that's neither here nor there. But the bottom line was, she was like my last attempt at finding a Nawalt. I looked everywhere where Nawalts were known to exist, and I couldn't find any. So I thought I'd make one. I thought I'd find a girl who was good, who had potential, but maybe was overlooked because she was fat, and I would help her lose weight. It worked, except as soon as she lost the weight, she became like all the others. So let's get into this article. So the article begins, quote, a 35-year-old woman who got rid of half her body weight ended up transforming her love life in the process. Katie Williams left her husband of 2 years and bagged a hot young lover after several surgeries helped her drop 140 pounds. The London resident was nearly 300 pounds before her dramatic weight loss, which involved a boob job, gastric surgery, and a tummy tuck. But the newfound attention her slim figure attracted drove her husband Phil insane with jealousy. So this woman is 300 pounds. That's a huge bitch. I think my girlfriend was like, she was like 2-something, but it was like low 2s. And she was fat. Oh my, she waddled. So I don't even know what 300 pounds looks like. She must be like doing the truffle shuffle everywhere she goes. And I don't know what the husband looks like. There's no pictures of the husband in these articles, so I don't know if he was fat too. Usually, not always, but usually, when one person blows up, they're both fat, like both people are fat in the relationship. Now, they do show a picture of Katie on her wedding day, and she was not fat. But they show a picture of her before her weight loss where she's fat. So I think she did what Terrence Popp calls pulling the pin on the fat grenade after the wedding. And she was only married to this guy for 2 years, and then she was 300 pounds, so she really pulled the pin on that fat grenade. Holy shit. But anyway, she gets these surgeries. The husband is supportive, I imagine. Doesn't say. But as soon as she has this weight loss, in this boob job and all this other stuff, her husband is insane with jealousy. Well, she wasn't fat on their wedding day. On her wedding day, I mean, she's not... what would I rate her? A solid 5 or 6. I mean, I'm not into blondes, but I mean, a 5 or 6. She's not bad. She's average to above average slightly. When she's fat, oh god, like a 2? I mean, she doesn't look like the mummy from my other video, but she's definitely a lights off, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, she wasn't fat when they got married, and it says later in the article they were together for 20 years. And she actually looked better in the wedding picture than she does in her after picture, where she's all tatted up. So I don't think it's the weight loss, because now she was fat her whole life and she just never had attention before, she probably let it go to her head and so forth. But I think what happened was, she pulled the pin on the fat grenade and got fat, and so did he. But then she lost the weight and he didn't. She already had one foot out the door. And that's really where the jealousy, and this is the thing that pisses me off. Look at how the responsibility is on the man. It's not that she started looking around, flirting with guys, accepting this attention, and had one foot out the door from day one. No, it's his fault. He was jealous. He was insane with jealousy. He's the problem. And it's that gynocentric, you go girl, go ahead, cheat on your husband, go ahead, divorce your husband, separate him from his children, take his money, you deserve it, so that you could feel good about yourself. Anyway, the article continues, quote, he noticed that men were looking at me and I kind of started becoming more of his possession than his wife. Unquote. Let me just stop there. I heard similar words come from my girlfriend when she started to lose weight, and started flirting with guys like right in front of me, or as soon as my back was turned. Like guys would come talk to her. And then again, this was after she started to lose weight, because she had some really good tits. But it's up to you as the girl to be like, actually I have someone, and he's been really supportive of me and all this other stuff. But of course, that's not what she did. She loved the attention because she never had it. She was fat for so many years that she just never had a lot of positive male attention. So she was just soaking it in like a sponge. And when I told her how it made me feel, of course, just like this bitch, I was insane with jealousy. I was treating her like a possession. I was trying to control her, etc., etc. It wasn't her flirting. It wasn't her looking around seeing if she could do better than me. It was my fault, And the thing is this, I feel really bad for this guy. Now, in my case, I didn't marry the cunt. I didn't have kids with her. She didn't get half my shit. I mean, she wasted my time and my money, but she didn't destroy my life. This poor bastard, he married her. So, I mean, I can only imagine if I had married this cunt and she did this and took my kids away. The article continues, quote, after 2 years of marriage and more than 20 years together. Just think about that. 20 years together, flushed down the toilet because she lost weight and thought she could do better. This is a woman who's 35 years old. Presumably at the end of her sexual marketplace value. Pretty much, she's in the waning years of her sexual marketplace value. And she just threw away a man she's been with for 20 years. Father for children. Because she wanted to get just a little bit more of a ride on that carousel after she lost some weight. And who did she end up with? This sexy lover that the article alludes to? Painter and decorator Jack King, 23, has given Williams a confidence boost that she says she's never felt about her body. She's dating a guy in his early 20s who's just a painter and decorator. I don't know how much a painter and decorator makes, but he's probably at what I would call the beginning of his career. Whether or not he makes it as a painter and decorator, I don't know if painter means like he paints walls or if he paints portraits and actually is an artist. And this is something that, Tom Leykis has said, if you're familiar with Tom Leykis. When you're a young guy and you're just starting out in your career and you don't have a lot of money, young girls are not going to go for you. The young girls are going after the established older men. Not like old men, but older men. Mid-30s, perhaps late 30s, early 40s, who have a lot of money. That's who they're going for, the young girls. So what is a young man who doesn't have a lot of money to do? Well, one of the things Tom Leykis recommends is going after the cougars. These, old 35 to 45-year-old women who are just like trying to get some D. Because they don't care that you don't make any money. The fact that you're half their age, that excites them. That's enough. And you just use them for sex for a couple years, and once you get established in your career, you get to trade up. Isn't that something? The woman ditched her husband, the man she was with for 20 years, for this young painter, who's just going to be using her for a couple years, and then he's going to be gone. And guess how this story ends for Katie Williams? She's going to be miserable and alone. But hopefully she can wipe the tears away with her ex-husband's money. Boo-hoo-hoo. So at the end of the article says, quote, the hot mom who has 2 sons with her first husband, there you go. 2 sons who are being torn away from their father because this fucking cunt just had to ride that cock, had to get back on that carousel. So it says the hot mom who has 2 sons with her first husband is now in the process of getting divorced. She left her husband, quote unquote. She met this guy a month later, and now she's in the process of getting a divorce. Like, what a fucking whore. And the fact that she celebrated, this magazine, the New York Post, is celebrating her. Like, oh, isn't this a wonderful story? She was with this guy for 20 years. She got this surgery, and now she's cheated on her husband. She's destroying her family. She's pulling her sons away from their father so that she could date some loser artist half her age that's just going to leave her in a couple years once he gets more money and can get a younger, more attractive woman. Isn't this wonderful? Stella got her groove back, everyone. There you go. I mean, this is gynocentrism. This is hypergamy. It's on full display. And everything, of course, is the man's fault. He was too jealous. He was too possessive. He just should have let her get the D. He should have been like Michael Sonmore and just celebrated his open marriage, his one-way open marriage, so that she could just get dick down. I really feel bad for this guy because, I mean, this guy could have been me. If I would have married this bitch, this could have been me. I could have had a couple kids by this bitch. Then when she lost the weight and cheated on me, I would have had my fucking life destroyed. So my heart goes out to this guy. I'm sorry you married this fucking cunt that pulled the pin on that fat grenade. You were supportive of her, you helped her lose the weight, and then she repaid you by just stabbing you in the back. and fucking you over, and now she's taking your sons. I'm sorry. I wish I had something I wish I had some advice. I mean, hopefully his example and my example help illustrate a very important point. All women are like that. Even the fat, ugly ones that you think, oh, well, she's fat and ugly, she'll appreciate me. Yeah, she will appreciate you until the moment she's not fat and ugly. If she somehow, like, even that mummy from the other video, if she has somehow got some magical cure that made her attractive and normal looking, she would become just as hypergamous as every other woman. And the funny thing is, and I can attest to this from personal experience, it doesn't matter. You know, the thing about hypergamy is women are always looking to trade up always, anyway. But they'll settle for quantity over quality. Like, even if you're the best they can do, and they can't trade up higher than you, they'll still cheat on you. They'll still want to get attention from as many men as possible, even if they're inferior to you, because that makes them feel better. Maybe they're hoping one of these other guys are better than you, but even if they're not, they're still going to want their attention. They're going to still want to have them flirt with them and make them feel good about themselves. So even being like that desirable male, knowing that she's never going to divorce me or she's never going to leave me because she's never going to find someone better than you, that may not be true. She may just want to go ride the carousel, and she doesn't care that these guys are objectively inferior to you, because she will make up for that quality with quantity. She's gonna get so much dick that it doesn't matter. That's all she wants. And the thing is women, when they know they can still have access to your money, then what's holding them back? She's gonna be riding the carousel, getting the dick from as many men as possible, while her ex-husband is paying for it all through child support and alimony. It's the best of both worlds. Welcome to gynocentrism. Now, of course, the story doesn't end well for her. She's going to end up miserable and alone because she destroyed her family. But right now, she's living the high life. And there you go. This is Turd Flinging Monkey, signing off.